save the best for last, right?
Oh, stop!
First of all, have you enjoyed your time in Seattle?
It's been so fun so far.
Have you gotten a chance to go out at all? Or?
We took a little tour last night, and it's really beautiful, and the weather's kind of like Scotland. And the first Starbucks was here, so we're going to try that tomorrow. People are fans of Starbucks, I see.
Coffee, yes. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, there's so many things that I want to ask you. Obviously, you see everybody's lined up at the mics, everyone's ready to go. I just want to kick us off with one question. When you first were cast as Amy in the series, now I heard that your mother was a huge fan.
The biggest fan.
Okay, so what was her reaction? How did you break the news to her? What happened?
So instead of just telling her over the phone, I decided to travel up to Scotland with all of the executive producers of Doctor Who. Just to make it a subtle affair. And I turned up in her house and she was doing the dishes. And I was like, Mom, I'm going to be the next Doctor Who companion. And she just stopped doing the dishes, turned around and burst into tears. Really beautiful and cheesy, but brilliant.
No, that's amazing, and I love that you took like your whole like posse.
I took everyone up. I wanted to make it as like dramatic as possible.
Yeah. Well, mission accomplished, I think. Let's open it up to the mics. Let's go over here.
Oh wow, this is funny.
Yeah.
the light, not you.
Hello, Karen. I'm a bit of an amateur choreographer, and I was wanting to hear about some of your experience in training for the fight scene and stage combat in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wow, that's cool that you're a choreographer. So that was really intense, the training for Guardians of the Galaxy. I had to train for 2 months. Every day that I wasn't filming, and I had to work out and eat loads of protein, which was actually fine because I like protein. And it was really intense. I had to train all the time, and I learned how to defend myself in situations. But my fight sequences, some of them were with Zoe Saldana, who is amazing at that stuff. Whereas I look like spaghetti, so she came in for like 2, and I was in for 2 months.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, let's go over here.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to Seattle, Karen.
Thank you. Good, thanks.
I gotta say, Amy Pond is easily one of the most iconic roles in all of Doctor Who, and I mean in all 50 years.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so impressed by her. So one thing I wanted to say was, what was the difference between, well, first of all, what can we expect from Nebula and Guardians of the Galaxy, and what was the major difference you saw between preparing every day for Amy Pond versus preparing for Nebula in the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy big movie?
Oh, thanks. So, I mean, it was a very different character. They were totally different. Amy's a good girl at heart, and Nebula's very bad. So that was just a different approach. I kind of like saw Nebula as a good person underneath it all as well, but no one else should really think that. But she was just a character for me. I mean, Amy was just much closer to myself. She was sort of an extension of me in some way. And you know, same voice, same everything. Whereas Nebula, I'm literally playing American, which is quite exciting for me. And yeah, just moving differently. I mean, I look completely different. It was a really transformative experience.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. So choosing to Doctor Who and leave Amy, that must have been a really tough decision. Can you talk to us a little bit about the process that you went through to ultimately come to that decision?
It was the saddest thing that's ever happened to me, which means I probably lived quite a sheltered life. But no, it really, really was. To say goodbye to that TV show was the hardest thing in the world because I had the best years of my life on it.
Right.
I really did. And I'm not just saying that. And I mean, I made my best friends in the world, and to walk away from that is so difficult. But it's, you know, it's the nature of the show. The companions change over more regularly than the doctors. So I mean, I actually ended up doing it for like the longest period of time since I came back in 2005. So it wasn't premature or anything like that.
Right.
But I just felt like the character had gone as far as I wanted to take it. I didn't want to overstay my welcome. I wanted people to care that she was leaving.
Right.
But it was sad to leave Matt. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Because you guys work so closely together for so
every day for 9 months of the year.
Right. Yeah, it becomes family.
Yes.
Definitely. Let's go over here.
Hi. It was genuinely like they're like the two brothers I never had, Matt and Arthur. I now understand what it's like to have brothers. And I mean, my God, they would just torment me and they'd like work together on it as well. Like, so there's nothing I could do. I would like try and come back with something and then they just make me look stupid. Like Matt would hide in my trailer with like this huge shoehorn that I had in there for no reason. I don't know why that was there. He would like hide, and then when I'd come in, he'd just jump out of the corner with it. And it was, I mean, imagine seeing him do that. It's so scary. I mean, yeah, and he'd be like screaming. I think Arthur printed off a picture of Mrs. Doubtfire and put it on my trailer door. Stayed there for ages. So yeah, I mean, there's just a list.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, I'm really glad you're here. I'm
Hi.
a really big fan.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you could go back and play Amy again. Is there anything you would have changed about her, about the way you played her?
I mean, a million things I would have changed at the beginning. But that's just my own personal thing. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like she was really well written and she was really rounded because of the writing. So I'm sort of pretty happy with that side of things. I mean, I look back on early episodes and I'm like, that's the worst acting I've ever seen. But of course, you know, as she's a Bella, you're going to do that. Maybe okay, I'll tell you what I changed. Specifically, when she walks onto the TARDIS for the first time, and I do this really weird face that's like, ooh. I wouldn't do that.
And of course, that's the scene that's always played. Oh, it's the first time on the TARDIS.
Yeah,
It's the
like
first
it's a
time.
monumental moment.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
So I was wondering what your favorite episode you've ever filmed of Doctor Who is.
Whoa, I have a few, but to pick one, it would probably be the 11th hour. Only because, oh, okay. Probably because I just feel like there was a certain magic to that episode, and Matt and I were introducing our characters and Arthur for the first time, and there was 3 episodes in that we shot that. So we shot the Angels 2-parter before that, but so we were really in the swing of things, and it just felt like we were going to be okay, and we weren't going to like wreck Doctor Who for everyone. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's a good answer. It's always, you know, that's another good point. What's it like to come into a franchise that's so established and developed,
scary.
and you know that you're going to have to come into this type of a fan base?
Yeah, it's really strange because it's not like other TV shows where you will establish it and you know you're the first person to do this thing. It's like many have gone before you and done extremely well. So it's like this weird pressure, and also especially in the UK, it's like a national institution. So as soon as you get the role, before you've shot a single scene, you're all over the newspapers. They're like, "What's you gonna do with this? Is it gonna be okay?"
Right.
And we're
right.
like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, no, a lot of pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Matt really got the brunt of it, so I just kind of like went along for the ride.
Yeah. Just a little bit behind it. Yes.
So, for one, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. You're one of my favorite actresses in the entire
Thank
world.
you.
And my question is about Doctor Who. As a show, how do you think how it came across to the fans would have been changed if David Tennant had played the 11th Doctor and Matt Smith had played the 10th? Do you think those actors were the only ones who could have brought that special something to their character?
I mean, that would be really weird if they swapped places. I mean, because also the writers changed over at the time as well. So, like, David Tennant's Doctor was primarily Russell T. Davis's writing, and then Stephen Moffat for Matt. So, I feel like that's got to be, there's something in that as well. I feel like they're just so individual and different that even despite the writers, they would have just put their stamp on it either way that they went. They'd have different companions.
Yes. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Yes.
Hi. I was wondering, what was the hardest thing you've ever had to do on Doctor Who?
Could be a stunt. Could be
Yeah, I mean,
special
we've
effects
done lots of
scene.
stunts. I remember being sucked under the ground through this mud thing, and that was really weird. I remember in an episode called The Beast Below, where we were on a whale's tongue, and all day we would just be like lying in goo and cabbage, like real cabbage. And that was fun for 2 hours, and then I was like, what are we doing? But also, if that's our job, that's kind of amazing. And then also the hardest thing really I've had to do is probably leave the show, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Hey Karen.
Hi.
I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
And my question is, what's your favorite Doctor Whoian alien?
Ooh,
My
good one.
favorite alien. I quite like the Silurians because I don't know, they're just like really lizardy. They're just really funny. But I obviously love the Weeping Angels, even though I probably shouldn't because that was my demise. But I think that they're just the best creation. I think they're so clever.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
What do you think the scariest bad guy is?
Ooh, scariest bad guy. What's your scariest bad guy?
The Weeping Angels.
Same.
Oh.
I'm in agreement. Or the Silence. They're really creepy. If you can remember those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. Yes.
Hi.
Don't be nervous.
I'm really nervous.
No, you don't have to be nervous.
Okay,
It's all fine.
did you like being on Doctor Who, and do you like acting on Doctor Who with Matt Smith?
Good question. I loved working on Doctor Who. It was so fun. And Matt Smith is one of my best friends. So we would just play around together all day and we would just like film in between. But it was great. We had the best time. We really did. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Over here.
Hey. Beth.
I was wondering if, like, what's the stupidest thing that Matt has ever done?
Oh, there's so many to choose from. Where do I start? I mean, my favorite moment ever was not really when we were filming, but like, I remember he was talking to this girl, and she was really pretty, and he tried to look really cool and leaned against the light stand, and it fell over. And it's genuinely the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It is funny watching people fall.
It was like the doctor trying to chat someone up. It's just...
To this day, yeah.
I think I'll always remember that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
So my question is, well, first off, I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, thank you.
And first off, my biggest question is, how does Amy Pond, the character, connect to you personally?
That's
Good
a
one.
really good question. She connects to me personally on a lot of levels, actually. But what was interesting about starting on Doctor Who was that our lives kind of changed when we got those roles, in the same way that her life kind of changed when she got invited to go onto the TARDIS. So it was like there was this weird parallel thing going on where I totally understood how she was feeling. And so like I just really connected to her on that level. It was like I almost didn't need to act it or something.
Yeah. Did you have another part to your question,
Yeah,
sweetie?
Yes, I did.
Let it roll.
So, how? No.
Okay.
Good question, though. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good job. So, you said right when you got cast as Amy, obviously there was all this attention because in the UK it is like a religion, Doctor Who. I mean, in here too, in some places. But when did you really realize, like, was it after the first episode aired, or that you really couldn't even walk around, or?
It was probably exactly then.
Yeah.
I mean, because we got the jobs, but we were kind of shielded away from everything because we were in Cardiff in Wales shooting for 9 months, and we just did that every single day, and sort of forgot that anyone was ever going to see what we were doing. Like, and then we just randomly had these moments where it's like, what I just did is going to be seen by so many people. But then the first episode aired, and I went home to Scotland to watch it, and then the next day we were just like all over the newspapers, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that's that.
That was it.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, I'm the cute little girl, but So I'm a young filmmaker
actor here in Seattle.
Amazing.
And, what I was going to ask you more was about your acting process, rather than anything fandom related. So I greatly admire your prowess as an actress.
Thanks.
And what I wanted to know was generally how you approach roles, whether it be in rehearsals or during takes, and as an extension of that, what you look for from directors and the direction they give you.
Well, okay, so basically before I start a new role, I have a little freak out where I don't think I know what I'm going to do with it. So that happens like clockwork. And now I've worked out that happens, so I'm like relaxed during it. And then I just try to read the script as much as possible and maybe like write down all the character traits that I can think of for the character to just get a feel for them. And then I just make sure that I know the lines so well that on the day we can just change it up for every single take so that it's not the same every time. Because that's really fun, and I learned that from Matt actually. He reinvents everything just like immediately. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. So it's always fresh. And then from directors, I would say probably they need to be able to give you reassurance. That's like the main role to actors, I think, just to let you know that it's okay. And maybe just like make you feel safe enough to take those risks and reinvent and not feel like you're going to be laughed at for doing something different.
Great answer. Now, with Nebula, obviously you shaved your head for that role.
Yeah.
Was that, did that help you get into character? Was that a decision? Tell us about coming to that decision and how that was for you.
Well, it's so funny to shave your head, and also it kind of did half the work for me in terms of playing the role, because I suddenly felt intimidating, which is a new sensation for me. So I was like, what is this? And then, but the decision was made before I even got the role. They said the actress who plays this role has to shave her head, and I was like, absolutely, thinking I wasn't going to get it.
Right. Oh, for sure.
It's like a big Marvel movie. And then I got it, and I was like, oh, so I am going to be bald.
And what was the process of actually shaving your head?
I just went in one day, and they just shaved it off me in a makeup truck.
There you go.
Yeah, that was it. Gone.
That was it.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, because all these new projects are coming out in the next couple of years for you, like that new movie Oculus. The trailer scared me so bad. And Guardians of the Galaxy. I was wondering, which one are you most looking forward to for coming out?
Oh, that's exciting. I'm really excited about Oculus coming out. For those of you who don't know, it's a horror film, and it's about a haunted mirror. I will create a better pitch by the time I come to really promote it. But yeah, it's really, really scary, and I got to do this like 13-minute monologue in it, which was really cool for me. And I'm just really excited. It comes out on the 11th of April in cinemas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
So everybody dreams about what it's going to be like when they meet their role model. So this whole time while I was waiting in line to get a picture with you, I was like, okay, what am I going to say to Karen? It's going to be so epic, and I have like 5 seconds to do it. So when I get up there, I say, man, you're really tall. And I meant to say that in a good way. But I felt really bad when you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so tall.
No, I feel like
get there.
no, listen, everyone has said that today, so it's any consolation. And I'm like, yeah, it must be really freaky. I don't know. I wear heels all the time as well. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm just used to seeing you on the screen, and all of a sudden, real life.
Yeah, really weirdly
Well,
tall.
I think Matt's tall too.
Matt's taller
and
than
two
me.
tall actors don't look tall when they're
Because
together.
there's no context.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah.
So my question, I think, it's hard to follow cute little girls. Yeah, so being in the Doctor Who fandom, were you one before you started watching it? I know your mom was, but were you?
I wasn't as into it as my mother, but I sort of got into it and got into all the history of it and everything after I got cast. That's what really sparked my interest in the show. I'd seen bits of it, but I didn't follow it as much as I would now. But my mother, she was obsessive. Like if she came to one of these things, she would die. I'm gonna bring her to one.
You gotta bring her next time.
I know. Like there's people from Star Trek. She's gonna go crazy.
Oh yeah. We want to see her over here next time.
For sure.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And you look great.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm really short. Oh my god. My question, well, before I ask my question, you're really pretty, by the way. I wanted to ask if you remember when Matt was obsessed with badgers near Christmas time, and if you could tell everyone about it.
Yeah, you're right. There was this one Christmas where Matt just got obsessive about badgers. He had this like hand puppet of a badger and he would like maul me with it. And the weirdest part was I didn't even bat an eyelid. It was just like another thing. I think it's called Charlie. I think he's on the YouTube.
Ah, yeah, look up Charlie on
Charlie the
YouTube.
badger.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go over here.
Hi, Karen. Hello. I understand that you've been in theater as well as TV and film. Am I right?
A little bit, yeah.
I was wondering if, regarding the acting process in developing your character, theater is very linear. You go from scene to scene. Is it fundamentally or quintessentially different? Is it much harder to do your character in segments the way you do in TV, like not going from scene to scene? Is it hard to think about?
Yeah, that was one of the big, because I trained in theatre before I worked on any screen stuff. And that was the biggest challenge initially, because you don't shoot in chronological order. So you could film the end of a film you're doing or something, and then you could shoot the middle and then the beginning. And you just kind of have to get used to that. And it means just being really prepared and knowing the story inside out so that you know where you want to end up. And it's almost interesting to film the end first because you've got somewhere to get to. It's like a finishing point or something. But that's what's really nice about theatre is it's linear and also you could just really get invested in it because it's not it's not fragmented, is that the right word? You know, it's not split up into sections. So there's something nice, you can just really engage with it. But they're both fun in their own way. I mean, theatre is really fun because you get an immediate response. But then film's really fun because it's on there forever.
Yeah, thank you. Great
Thank
question.
you.
Thank you. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
Oh God, I'm actually losing here.
You look great.
Yeah, you look fantastic.
Thank you. That's cool. You and Matt, you're just like you are my first favorite companion by far. Actually, second place is Rose Tyler because I started watching Doctor Who at the Doctor, so.
Oh yeah.
So that was the first companion, but you really did. Oh God.
What he's trying to say is you're amazing.
You really did aim really well.
Thank you so much.
So, what is your favorite thing about Doctor Who and being in it?
Good question.
My favorite thing about Doctor Who is, well, first of all, I think the Doctor is such a funny, smart, amazing character. And I like the fact that you can go anywhere in the whole of time and space. So there's no limits on the stories that you can tell. It can be anything from your wildest imagination, and that's exactly what the writers do. So I love that, and it's a different story each week, and there's loads of cool monsters. I love that.
Remember, there actually is a limit. You can't change time.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. There's been coincidences.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's come over here.
Hi.
Hi, so my question for you is if you were stuck on a desert island with any other companion and doctor, who would it be and why?
Oh, I don't know. Okay. Let's think about this. Okay, so I'm gonna go for Matt Smith, Doctor, because I'm biased. For companion, people are shouting out suggestions. I was thinking of going for Clara. She's my favorite companion. I really like her, souffle girl, and she's so versatile. I think she's brilliant.
Great.
Yes,
Nice.
thank you. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I have 2 things to say.
Yes.
First, I love your hair. It's like so
Oh, thanks.
pretty.
It's becoming acceptable slowly.
And I was wondering, what was your favorite scene out of all the episodes of Doctor Who that you've been in? Like, what was your favorite scene of the film?
Do you have a memorable favorite scene?
Memorable favorite scene? I mean, many. I really liked playing the older version of Amy in The Girl Who Waited. Probably, yeah, the scene, maybe that's really self-indulgent, like the one where I'm talking to myself.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, or maybe there's a scene between Amy and Rory at the end of that episode where they're talking through the TARDIS door, and that was really emotional. So that was fun though. Emotion's fun.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, yes.
First of all, Scottish people are cool.
Thank you. Thanks. My friend Rachel from Scotland is here. Rachel, where are you? All the Scot. Sorry.
If you had a flesh double, what would you do with it?
If I had a what?
Flesh double.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I think that maybe I would just send it to all the mundane things that I have to do in my life. Like laundry and grocery shopping. That's a really boring use of it, isn't it? Maybe I send it on like weird dates with people. Just really awkward dates.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good question. Yes.
Hi, just following on from that fellow Scott here, so...
Oh, you Scottish?
I am Scottish.
Where are you from?
Edinburgh.
Oh, yay!
So I have 2 questions. The first one is, now that you get to enjoy Doctor Who as a fan, what are your thoughts on Peter Capaldi taking over as the 12th Doctor, and is there anything that you're particularly looking for them to introduce in the next season and onwards?
Oh, right, so first of all, he's the biggest Doctor Who fan ever, Peter Capaldi, so like, the fact that he's gotten the role makes me really happy, because he's been so passionate about it for a long time. Yes, so I think he's going to do a great job. He's a brilliant actor. I feel like he's probably going to tone down his language. Either that, I don't like bleep it out with vortex sounds, I don't know. I just want to see. Yeah, and I think he's gonna be amazing with Jenna as well. I think they're gonna be really funny together.
Thank you.
Thanks.
If the opportunity came about, what would be the perfect scenario for you returning to the show? Have you thought about that?
Right, so I said before that I was definitely not going to make any cameos, and then I did. So you just can't trust what I say. But I don't know, I mean, that was very special though, because it was Matt Smith's last moment as the character, so there was no way that I could not go back for that. It was, I mean, and also I think Stephen Moffat wrote me into that scene purely so I was around for him at that moment. I think that's what it was. And you know, of course I'm going to go back for that, but now that he's gone, I just don't know.
Right.
I think maybe if he went back and if Arthur went back as well, I'd be like, okay.
Amy would go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Let's go over here.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Jessica. Oh, people that know me here. Hi, I'm Jessica. My heart is pounding really fast because you're my favorite companion.
Oh, thank you.
And, I really look up to Amy Pond. I think she's amazing, and I think that her and Rory's relationship is really something to aim for. And my question was, Doctor Who is really notorious for having really scary aliens and monsters. Are they as scary when you work with them all the time or see them as the props on set, or does it take out the scariness?
It kind of takes out the scariness, unfortunately, because you see them like drinking tea in between.
Eating a biscuit, drinking
Yeah, like just the normal things that people do, and you know, so they've got like their heads under their arms. So it takes away from the illusion a little bit. But then when I watch it, I'm always amazed at how scary they are, because you get to know them as people as well. Although the weirdest part is they have to come in before everybody else, and leave after everybody else because of all the makeup and stuff. So you never really see what they actually look like. I'll be like, hey, and I'm like, I don't know who you are. It's quite weird.
Yeah, that's a little awkward.
Yeah.
Listen, no, it's me, it's me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi, yes.
Hi. I had a question. If you were to play any character in a movie or a TV show, what character would it be?
Any particular character that you would like to play that's either on there now or maybe something that you'd like to develop for yourself in the future?
Oh, I mean, I've always wanted to play Lady Macbeth. That would be really cool. Shakespeare fan in the house. So, I don't know why, but like William Wallace just popped into my head, and I know that's not possible because I'm a girl. Maybe. That would be terrible. I'm gonna watch it.
I would.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes?
Hello.
Hi.
My question is actually for my aunt. She couldn't come up here since she's in the wheelchair.
Oh, hello
But
over there.
She's the Dalek one.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Did you know from the beginning that River was your daughter, or did that surprise you? And with it, what was your favorite moment in your storyline?
Okay, so we did not know from the start that River was our daughter, and that only got revealed to us as late as possible. Stephen Moffat likes to keep everything a secret from the actors. He does not like to tell the actors at all. Alex Kingston, who played River Song, knew from the beginning, but we did not. He wanted to leave it as late as possible. I think it's because he didn't want it to affect our performances. He didn't want us to have that knowledge, which is fair enough. I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question?
What was your favorite part of your favorite moment of the storyline with you and her?
Oh, maybe the big revelation, where I think it was in the episode A Good Man Goes to War, and she comes out at the end and reveals who she is, and that was really fun because it was a moment that we'd been waiting for like years. So it was really cool.
Yes. Thank you. Great question. Hi.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Welcome to Seattle.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I'm glad that you brought up The Girl Who Waited because I wanted to tell you that that's one of my favorite episodes of all time.
Thanks.
I remember every single detail, but I've only seen it once. And that's because your performance was so beautiful and so heartbreaking. I could not bear to watch it a second time.
Oh, thanks. That's really nice. Thank you.
So 2 quick questions. Answer either or both if you care to. What was the scariest scene, the most intimidating scene you've ever had to film, Doctor Who or otherwise? And second, the episode called Let's Kill Hitler got me to thinking, actually. I mean, the theory of, if you could have a TARDIS and you could go back in time and meet anyone, if you could go back in time and alter a moment in human history, would you do it, and which moment would it be?
Oh, interesting. Well, I feel like the moral that I have learned from working on Doctor Who is don't mess with fixed points in history. I mean, because there's always going to be repercussions that you don't expect. I could go back in history. Oh, that's a huge question. I don't know. I really don't. I mean, maybe stop Pompeii from erupting, maybe? That feels like that was pretty destructive.
Absolutely.
Maybe something like that, like a natural disaster that didn't really do any good whatsoever. And then the first part of the question was?
Scariest or most intimidating scene you've had to film?
Honestly, I think actually the most intimidating scene for me was, it was kind of a tiny, meaningless scene actually, but it was the last scene that we ever shot. It was me, Matt, and Arthur, and we had to look out heroically and then walk inside the TARDIS. But I could barely get through it because I knew that
was
when
it.
they shouted cut, that was the last time I was ever going to play that character. I mean, that's not technically true, but it felt like that at the time.
Right.
So it was really difficult to get through. I was trying to stop my lip from quivering. And then we all just walked inside the TARDIS and it was completely pitch black and we all just hugged. Matt says that I fondled him and I did it. So if he ever says that, it's not true.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yes.
So I had an acting question actually.
Yeah.
I've been into acting since I was for my whole life, and
Amazing.
just in community theater. And recently, so recently I've not been getting into anything, and it's been really frustrating. So I was wondering if you had any advice for how to get through that when you first started.
Keep going, because if you can harden yourself to rejection, you're going to be okay. But that's all this industry is. Rejection, and then just every so often you get a hit, and that's what you have to really work towards. So don't even worry, don't even let it get you down. Maybe just think how you could have done it better. But most of the time it's out of your hands anyway. It's just who's right for the role rather than.
Picture that I've been trying
I mean, can we take it?
Yes, let me grab it for you. Here, bring it up here.
Did you draw this?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Oh wow, that's
great.
so good. That's really good.
Yes.
Really talented.
And I also have a friend who's really upset that he couldn't come to see you today.
Oh.
He found out that you were here and he like almost cried.
Oh no. Well, tell him I say hello.
And my question is, because I am an aspiring actor, I was wondering what advice do you have for aspiring actors?
I would say watch as much as you can. So like whatever you want to get into, whether it's TV, film, or theatre, watch as much as you can, absorb it, because I feel like that's where most of the learning is done, by watching people do it. So that's quite fun actually. And then I would say just work really hard and be sort of try to generate things for yourself. So if you're not doing anything, maybe write something for yourself or put on a little show somewhere or something, you know, just to be self-generating, because especially with all the modern technology these days, you can put things on the internet and people will see it, and that's what's really exciting about being an actor now.
Absolutely, great advice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have time for a couple more questions. Let's go over here.
Hi. I have two questions.
Okay.
My first one is, did you play small Amelia Pond as a child?
No, I did not play Little Amelia. That was my cousin, actually.
Oh, no way.
My real life cousin called Caitlin, and she was 9 years old, and she played the younger version of me, which was really nice. They couldn't find a girl with my weird accent, and I was like, I have a cousin who looks like me. She's never done any acting before. And they were like, let's use her.
And my second question was, I made a card for you and someone was supposed to give it to you. Did you get it?
Thank you for the cards. I think I'm going to get all of my things at the end of the day. When I
make
finish.
sure we look for it, because she has stuff backstage.
I'm going to look for your card though. I'm going to find it. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. Okay, let's go over here.
Hi. I have a question. My son has a question. I was just wondering, when you guys were doing Vincent and the Doctor, like at the end, when you guys brought Vincent to the present, how was that? Like, what were what were you thinking about? Did you think about how the real artist would have felt?
I mean, that was a really emotional moment, because I mean, there's so many artists where you look and think, if only you knew what you were going to achieve in the future. And that's what's so brilliant about that story, and what Richard Curtis, the writer, captured really well. And that was a really emotional moment for Tony Curran, who played Vincent. He was really in the zone. We just kind of had to react to him and sort of be happy. So it wasn't that difficult for us, but he really had to deliver on that. Yeah, good.
I have a question. Well, first, you're like my favorite companion.
Thank you.
My favorite companion. But except for Donna, she's like the funniest. My first question is, well, I think, my first question is, I can't remember.
You look great.
Yes, you do.
Such
who's your favorite character other than the Doctor?
Ooh, good one.
Ooh, my favorite character. I mean, there's so many. Do you know the characters Jenny and Vastra? They're like a funny duo, and one of them's a lizard. That's always good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Great outfit.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
So I was wondering, how does Doctor Who change your way of finding roles, and how is it different from doing a TV show and a movie?
I mean, working on Doctor Who for 3 years was like my training ground. I felt like I went to drama school or something. And honestly, learning from Matt Smith has been an amazing educational experience for me in acting. I mean, because he's just on fire, he's amazing. So I feel like I've learned so much from him. And playing that character day in, day out, just kind of, I don't know, trains you up to be able to do other things, I guess. In terms of filming TV show and a film, TV shows kind of more fun because you get longer to invest in the character and you have a longer period of time. Even though you're shooting quicker in the day, you have a longer period of time extended. So there's that. But then a film's really nice because there's a lovely attention to detail because you're taking your time and you're shooting scenes over like 2 days rather than half an hour. So, you know, they're totally different, to be honest.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi there, honored to have you here.
Hi.
So, on behalf of apparently the many aspiring actors in the room, do you recommend focusing on formal training in the earlier stages or just sort of going for it and seeking out roles without that?
I guess it just depends on what you want to do. I do think there's something to be said for training because there are definitely things that you can gain from that. There are also things you can gain that aren't great from training as well. So you have to be careful and just pick the things that you want from it, I think, because, yeah, I just think you want to remain an individual. And I would say there's no real, I don't always think that kids should rush into working professionally. I think maybe just do it for fun and see if you want to do it when you're older. But then I guess it depends if the kid really wants to do it. I would say it's each to their own, really, but it couldn't hurt to do it, I guess.
All right, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
I was wondering, in your upcoming role in Guardians of the Galaxy, you said you had to do an American accent, and I was wondering if that was challenging for you, and if you could give us an example.
That was really challenging. Thank you. That's not what Nebula sounds like, by the way. So no, she sounds totally different to that. Yeah, it is challenging to do an American accent. I first did it in Oculus, and I just shot this pilot where I played this like really horrible valley girl. So that was a really funny voice for me to do. She's like, oh my god, I can't even believe you just said that.
Nice, thank you very much. And this is going to be our last question over here.
Hi.
Okay, so I think I can kind of speak for everyone when I say if there's one song that would describe Stephen Moffat, it'd probably be "You're a Heartbreaker." So, did you feel the same way about Moffat as all the fans do when you found out you were leaving the show? Were you a little bit mad, or was it just kind of?
No, because we came up with it together. So it was like a joint decision. We like sat down and had a lovely meal, and we were like, when should we do this? And I said what I wanted to do, and he was like, well, this is what I still want to do with the storyline. And then together we came up with this time to leave. So there was no madness or anything involved. I'm just really happy that he gave me a good exit.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. And Karen, thank you so much for coming to Seattle.
Thanks for having me.